I'm trying to get it live right now. I was waiting until y'all came in. It doesn't look right though. Y'all are live.
We're live? Okay. No, she wanted to know we're live.
You're live. Y'all are live.
Hey, good evening, everyone. It is 6:03 p.m. I'd like to call the meeting to order. It's August 8th, 2024, and this is our regular council meeting. Laurie, can I get roll call, please?
Mayor Young,
Here.
Vice Mayor Sartori,
Here.
Councilmember Brandon,
Here.
Councilmember Painter,
Here.
Councilmember French.
Here.
Thank you. And the invocation and pledge of allegiance will be led by Councilmember Brandon.
All right, if you all bow your heads, please. Heavenly Father, thank you for always protecting our village. Please bless us this fall season as we head into some holidays and our kids start school. Please protect us during the hurricane season as it comes towards an end, hopefully. Always protect, and thank you so much for loving on our people who serve us outside of our country and here at home. And we look forward to you guiding us with your strength and love for the rest of the year. Amen.
Amen. Please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, first up are presentations. We are excited to welcome Senator Harrell in our chambers tonight, and she's going to kick us off with the legislative update.
But thank you so very much, Madam Mayor, and it's a delight to be here. And please excuse my voice. I've had this cold that I got from my grandchildren who were visiting me this summer, and they left me with a little gift. So I do appreciate it, and I won't touch anyone. I'm not contagious. It's not COVID. Been tested 3 times, so I'm good. But thank you all for having me, and I think Representative Snyder is on his way, and when he gets here, we'll kind of tag team.
Great.
But in the meantime, I'll just kind of go ahead and get started and give you a little bit of an update on the session. And I have to say, this was one of the most productive sessions I have ever been in. And this is my 22nd year in the legislature, and I can tell you, I have never seen a more concentrated focus on health care in any other session. And that has been really, for the Senate, that was the main driving principles that the President of the Senate really, really wanted to look at how we are dealing with health care in Florida. But before I start with that, let me kind of give you a little overview of the budget. And of course, the budget, we had $117 billion budget. And again, a very large budget. And I'm so pleased that we, again, were able to put over $10 billion into reserves. We have to be ready for the future where, with what happened in the stock market the other day, who knows what the future is going to bring. And we want to look and make sure we have reserves. We learned a lot in the recession in 2010, 11, and we were able to weather that rather well compared to other states because we did have the reserves that allowed us to continue to fund our schools, continue to fund Medicaid, and all essential services of the state of Florida. And this year, we continued the fiscal conservative policy that we have in Florida, and we're able to put $10 billion into reserves. We also made lots of good tax holidays for individuals. We've had some back-to-school holiday right now, so if you are shopping for school clothes and school supplies, there will be no tax on anything you buy up to a certain amount. Also, we have had excuse me. We of course have hurricane tax holidays and things of that sort. So we've continued this policy of really returning back to the taxpayer the dollars that you provide us. And I want to say thank you to the village of Tequesta for everything you are doing here for your local community as well. And it's a partnership. You know, some of the dollars you have come from state dollars, and we appreciate everything you are doing so carefully and frugally with the dollars that you do get from the state. And speaking of that, I was so happy we did get the Tequesta Regional Park in the budget this year. So, and I want to say to Madam Mayor, thank you so much for your diligence in this, in your driving force behind it.
Thank you.
You've done a great job on that. And as in education, we've been very delightful. We've continued the progress we've made in education in the state of Florida. And we are making great strides. I can tell you that we've put huge amounts of money into education again this year, increasing teacher salaries for $1.2 billion into teacher salaries. And we are increasing the FEFP as well by almost 7%. So we are on the march to continue the work we are doing. And I want to congratulate Palm Beach County on their A ranking. I was delighted to see that. And we are determined that we are going to have the best education system in the state of Florida. And I can tell you, we've put huge resources into our higher education, into not just into our state colleges, our community colleges, but also into our universities. I see my compatriot, Representative Snyder, come join me. I'm just giving a little bit of an update on the budget. But I was going to talk about the Live Healthy, but I'll turn it over to you and let you give a little bit too before I get into the Live Healthy legislation. But I have to say, we did amazing work in the environment. And for us here in our area, we live in paradise, do we not? And our beaches, our rivers, everything here that is so much a part of our livelihood and our life. And really the future and economy of the state of Florida depends on our environment. And they're so jointly linked. Our economy and our environment are together. And I can't tell you, we have put amazing resources into the environment this year. And of course, for those of us who are impacted by Lake Okeechobee releases and also the devastating effect of the blue-green algae, we have made sure that we have put huge resources into continuing comprehensive Everglades restoration. And this year, I'm delighted to say, we put $207 million into comprehensive Everglades restoration and $50 million into beach restoration, which I know is a big issue in our area as well. We want to make sure we're continuing to, with Florida Forever, and make sure we're continuing to bring those natural resources and having land acquisition as part of our natural ability to keep our environment safe and secure. And I'm delighted that this year we put 96% of the gaming compact dollars that we will be getting. We finally got that settled down, and the gaming compact is now completely signed and done. And through legislation this year, we put 96% of those dollars that will be reoccurring dollars into environmental issues, land acquisition and environmental issues and infrastructure. It's going to make a huge difference in the environment for the state of Florida. And I could go on, but I'm going to turn the mic over to my wonderful colleague. We're so delighted to share this, to share the village of Tequesta and represent you in the legislature. So it's all yours, Representative. And then I'd like to come back, if I can, to just talk a little bit about healthcare.
Well, thank you so much, Senator, and good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. Great to be here before you, and it's always a treat to be a part of the traveling band with Senator Harrell because, as she's mentioned, that former school teacher comes out, and so I know she's really able to deliver a lot of the accomplishments that we were able to get done this year. I will say it is always a treat to be able to come back and share some of the good news with our partners, and that's how we look at with all the different municipalities, counties, districts. We can't do it alone, and so having a council and staff that are really so plugged in. My opening is really thank you. Jeremy, I remember, I think it was one of my very first meetings after I was elected 4 years ago. We sat down in the Hope Sound office, and we know, as someone who was born and raised in Martin County, trying to really figure out what does the future look like for the Tequesta Regional Park. We know through a variety of different community input, the shape and maybe the original vision has changed, but what I truly believe we have before us is an opportunity to make that investment, build on that, to make sure that not only our kids, but the residents here in northern Martin, southern Palm Beach, have that resource. So look forward to continuing. We know this was just the beginning to be able to get that project up and running, but hopefully we will see that one all the way through. A couple other just quick highlights right here in our backyard. As Senator Harrell mentioned, a historic budget once again, but our role really, I believe, our primary function is to try and bring home as much of that funding right here to our community as we can. So Bush Wildlife, which we know is a major asset here in our community, we were able to get some funding for their continued operation. The L Center for Autism, which was another project that we worked jointly on, making sure that kids and really adults of all ages that are diagnosed with autism have that dedicated resource to learn how to swim. We've just had some recent tragedies right here in Palm Beach County with that specific population, so we're going to continue working in that region. And then of course Loggerhead Marine Life just down the road, again doing great work in the sea turtle beach renourishment, and so those were some of our key priorities. On the Palm Beach side of the house, one quick policy point just to touch on, public safety. And I wanted to say thank you to our law enforcement, first responders that are here today and are the backbone of keeping us all safe at home. We've seen some of the trends around the rest of the country where basically retail theft has become normalized and in some instances legalized. That is not something that we will allow to happen here in Florida, and so one of our signature public safety bills this year really focused on ensuring that our retail establishments know we have their back, law enforcement knows we have their back, and this phenomenon of walking into the drugstore to just take what you want off the shelf, that impacts all of us. We pay more, we can't get to the things that we need in a timely manner, it impacts our labor, so we led on that front. And I will just close with this, as we head into this next legislative session, we know that there is always more work to be done, and so we look forward to continuing the conversations here with staff, and I will say this, our primary focus as we head in this year, we know property insurance has risen over time. I will say on that front, we are getting very encouraging signs from the marketplace. We've had nearly a dozen new insurance carriers come into the state based off of some of the reforms that we've passed in the last legislative session. And we've actually just had multiple carriers file rate decreases with the state. So I'm a praying person, so I will continue to pray that we have a quiet hurricane season. So if you knock on wood, whatever you do, let's continue to hope that we have a quiet hurricane season and can get us through, hopefully, some brighter territory on the property insurance front. So with that, happy to look forward to continuing the conversation with the team here, and Senator Harrell, turn it back over to you.
We're a team, we tag team very well. I just want to mention a couple of things that were major pieces of legislation, and I was very involved in them. I've spent my last 30 years really in healthcare, and for me this was a momentous session. As you know, we have 1,000 people a day moving to Florida, lots of them coming to the beautiful village of Tequesta. And unfortunately, they don't necessarily bring their physicians, their nurses, their med techs, their respiratory techs, you name it. They don't bring them with them. And we have a real problem growing in the state of Florida. And as we become seniors, I relate to that, we need more health care. So we really want to make sure that we have the workforce that we need. And this year we passed major legislation called Live Healthy. And it really is opening up and changing how we're doing healthcare in Florida. We're recruiting people to come to Florida. We've increased the numbers of residency slots tremendously. We know that where an individual does their residency, they most likely will practice. So that has been a major increase. We also have put lots of money into loan repayment. You come to Florida, you stay here, you work in an underserved community, or you take Medicaid, we will help you repay your loans. And this has been expanded tremendously. Nurses, doctors, dentists, you name it. We want to bring healthcare professionals to the state of Florida. We also have, in attacking the huge drug problem that we have here, not just in Florida, but across the country, we've got to address the mental health and drug abuse issues that we have going on in this country. And one of the things that is so innovative that we are doing that I think is going to change dramatically the numbers of practitioners we have in the mental health and substance arena is the new concept of doing a specific hospitals that are mental health specific residence hospitals. So we are starting, these are teaching hospitals where we will be teaching not just psychiatrists and but also psychologists, therapists, you name it. And this is going to be a new model. I think there's only one other state that's done anything like this. And we are going down a new road to really build our own workforce in this arena. And we also want to be as innovative as possible. One of the bills that I'm so proud to have sponsored is the Health Innovation Bill. And this bill is putting $50 million a year into a specific loan program that is going to help providers and a variety of companies and whomever, everything from hospitals to nursing homes, who have innovative ways of doing something. And if you are willing to invest in some innovative concept in changing how we do healthcare, we are willing to invest with you. And when I say invest, we are doing it at a very low interest rate, less than 1%. Now, I don't know where you're going to get that today. But I can say this new Healthcare Innovation Council will go around the state of Florida listening to new projects, new ideas, how you change how we deliver healthcare. And then they will be the ones who make recommendations to the Department of Health on how these loans will be given out. And it's a recurring $50 million a year for the next 10 years. And as you pay it back, it goes into the fund again, and it will be reoccurring. So then somebody else will be able to get that money in order to invest in innovation in the state of Florida. We also put huge resources into trying to deal with this opioid problem. This is a major, major problem, and we have put over $180 million into it through opioid abatement settlement and also additional dollars that the state of Florida is putting in. So we're on the track to really try and change directions in the state of Florida when it comes to dealing with mental health and substance abuse problems. We've got to deal with it. You deal with it. You know, our law enforcement deals with it. We deal with it in the homeless population. We really need to address the issue. So I think we're on the right track. It's going to take some time. We'll see how it comes out. Palm Beach County is a designated county, so that they have huge resources now coming in. I would assume that someone from the council may have either be on the committee or whatever, or have some input into it. But follow that very closely. We want to make sure these dollars are carefully spent in Palm Beach County so that we're getting the best bang for our buck to really stop this whole problem we have with addiction and opioids especially. So I'm going to turn it over and let you add some things.
Well, thank you again, Senator. I want to be mindful of the council's time. I think just my closing remarks again would be thank you for the invitation for having us, and Please, let's keep the lines of communication open as we head into session. And to those members in the public and those that might be watching in other means, we do have also a shared legislative office here just down the road in Jupiter. And so if you do want to meet with our staff or you have an issue, you don't have to come all the way up to Martin County, but do give us a call. That office is by appointment, but we're happy to sit down and meet with you. Or please call our office. We are here to help. We look at our role as a customer support role. We know that navigating state government can be complex, cumbersome, and confusing. And so anything that we can do to help on that front, please don't hesitate to reach out to our office and our team. It looks forward to continuing to serve our joint constituents. So thank you again for having us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. If you have any questions, we're happy to answer or address anything we've left unmentioned.
Thank you. Council, any comments or questions?
I don't have any questions. I just want to thank you both for being here as always. Greatly appreciate all the work you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
I do have a question, but I will contact you at a later time because it does not have to do with the village.
Okay.
It has to do with our state in general.
No, thank you both, especially for the Tequesta Regional Park funding. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and for both the work that you've always done for the village. Last year, we had what we call the Dover Ditch, which is making its way through the process, and that'll be its joint with Jupiter, so thank you for that. And really, for the work that you both are doing and have done on behavioral health. I'm sure your Martin County Jail is like the Palm Beach County Jail is probably, if not the largest mental hospital in your county, and also
Yes.
in St. Lucie. It's very, very key, and that's something that's never really sexy, and it's good to be talked about, and it's tough to get it over the finish line, that funding. So the work you guys are doing, getting those appropriations over the finish line is just admirable work. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I, of course, just want to thank you both for your time coming here. I know you both have very busy schedules, so it means a lot to take the time to speak to us. And I want to, thank your staff, Karen and Sarah. They are both a pleasure to work with as well. And really, I know Tequesta Regional Park was a couple years in the making, so thank you so much for your hard work and really advocating on that for us. We have great champions at the state for us in our district, and we look forward to working with you this next session as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Okay, moving on, agenda item 3, our annual overview presentation by the Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics. Are they here? Did you see her? Nope. Okay, we'll move on. All right, our final presentation is by intern Nicholas.
All right.
So while he's walking up, if I can give a quick introduction. I mean, most of you guys have met him. Just a funny story, I met, there was a FCCMA meeting over on the West Coast. I was over there doing some introductions, and he stood up and, I guess hesitantly said, oh, I'm interested in an internship if anybody's doing that. So I gave him my card, says, I'm over on the East Coast, and I know you're over here on the West Coast, but if you're interested, we have an internship. And he's like, oh, I actually live over on the East Coast. And so it worked out. He's been a great, I guess, great addition to our team over the time. He's been very positive. He's just fun to be around, and I think he has a bright future in management, which is where he wants to go. And so hopefully he'll be afforded the time by you guys to give a quick presentation on what he's working on for his master's program and some of the work that he did in the village that kind of corresponds with that. So with that, turn it over to Nicholas.
Thank you. Okay. I don't have the clicker, but you can just toss it. No, I'm just kidding.
Make sure it's on.
There we go. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. My name is Nicholas Gambale. I've been the summer intern here at the Village of Tequesta. And Mr. Allen, as a part of my internship, has allowed me to present a topic of my choosing to Village Council, kind of a final project. Before I begin, I'd like to publicly thank everyone at Tequesta for my time here. Everyone's been so helpful and generous with their time and helped me learn a lot. I can honestly say this has been the best place I've ever worked. Everybody's been so nice to me and helping me learn so much. And before this experience, I hadn't had any time in local government. So I think it speaks a lot to the type of culture that Mr. Allen's built here. And everybody, I think I've interacted with probably 80% of staff, and top to bottom, everybody's just been really nice and really helpful. So thank you to everybody. So the topic that I will be talking about today is utilizing AI in the village of Tequesta. I chose this because AI, everybody knows it. If you're not familiar with it, if you don't know how to use it, if you don't want to, in my opinion, you need to, because it's coming and it's becoming more of a prominent factor in all organizations, but especially I want to talk about local government. So these quotes here are, one is from Jeff Bezos. He says, AI is in a golden age and solving problems that were once in the realm of sci-fi. And then the other is from the CEO of Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google. He says that artificial intelligence will have a more profound impact on humanity than fire, electricity, and the internet. So that just goes to show these two prominent figures both acknowledge how important AI is and will be. And while it's fun to think about the sci-fi aspects of AI, I want to focus on local government because that's what impacts people the most, in my opinion. So AI and local government, the use of AI has become one of the most important issues for local governments across the United States. And cities, towns, and villages are at the forefront of this technological evolution. Current use cases of AI in local government are focused on enhancing public service and optimizing internal operations. And AI presents numerous opportunities for local governments to enhance public services. From assessing infrastructure conditions to improving community engagement, AI can make government processes more efficient and improve resident interactions. I'm not going to go through all these. This is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of AI software, but I wanted to include a table of some of the software types that I was able to research and then the names. Some that I'll be talking about specifically would be ChatGPT, that's a big one, GIS software, Geographic Information Systems, and Grammarly, that's a big one, and VC3, that's actually one of the ones being implemented in the village that I'll talk about. So resident interactions, that's one of the biggest aspects of this, and that's one of the biggest aspects of the village in general. AI presents numerous opportunities for cities to automate routine and formulate government services and streamline their resident interactions. In recent years, many municipalities have set up AI chatbots to respond to questions. These programs need to be trained to answer specific questions, but automatically learn with enough use to eventually be able to answer wider arrays of questions that haven't been taught. And it's interesting, this is one of my first assignments at the village. We have a bot on the village website, which I encourage everyone to use, because it's really cool. I hadn't used any chatbots before, and Laurie McWilliams actually let me help her train the bot with specific prompts. And one of them was the Public Works fix-it form. Usually a resident would have to call or come in and find that form to report any type of damage, like a sidewalk or road, maybe a pothole. And one of the things I did was program it to a person could just type in the word pothole on the website, and that form would come up automatically, and it just makes everything faster. And if people don't want to use it, they can still call, but if they are in a rush or they don't want to go through a whole process of asking an employee, they could just find their answers quickly. Some of this presentation, I'll be going through each department in the village. I don't want to take up too much time, so it's quick bullet points for each one. If we didn't have a lot of time, I could talk about this for days, but the building department utilizes AI for public information processes and interdepartmental communications. The department uses a software called ePlansoft, which implements various AI programs to streamline their operations. The building director, Wayne Cameron, and Nara Cavalcanti, in my discussion with them, sorry, I should have mentioned this earlier, I was able to meet with all the department heads in the village, which was really nice because they're busy, and I'm an intern, so they could have just said, I'm busy, go look it up, go Google it. So everybody was able to meet with me, and they actually, I told them it would only take 10 minutes, and they met with me for like 30 minutes because it's an interesting topic, and they wanted to help me with my presentation. So the building department told me that they could continue to use and develop with AI to aid in the application process and code compliance. And in my side research, I found that the National Institute of Building Sciences and the International Code Council say that plan review applications, permitting automation through AI improves the efficiency and accuracy of these processes while minimizing time spent on repetitive, time-consuming tasks. And that's going to be a major theme that you'll see throughout each department. It's really about minimizing time spent on repetitive tasks that could be automated, freeing up people's employees' time to deal with more important issues or help residents personally. The clerk's department is one of the leaders in the AI utilization in the village. In addition to the bot that I talked about earlier, the department uses AI in other areas, including intergovernmental communication, public notices, press releases, letters to legislators, and village social media. Laurie McWilliams and Diana Manali told me that one of the most important ways the clerk's department uses AI for is satisfying the requirements under the American Disabilities Act. This process involves using AI software to format public notices, Friday newsletters, and other official municipal records so that they are compatible with screen reading technology. They really wanted me to emphasize how important that is, which it's true. It's a really cool process, and before AI, this had to be done manually, and this can be done a lot smoother and a lot quicker. In other ways the clerk's department could continue using AI as a tool would be focused around social media. You can analyze metrics to maximize engagement. Choosing what time to post could help more people see what the village is trying to say. And AI software could analyze and compile minutes for public meetings. I know I haven't even done that. That wasn't part of my internship, but I know that's a time-consuming process. And there are AI software coming out that can make transcripts or summarize minute meetings at a fraction of the time that it would usually take. Community development uses AI for interdepartmental communications, but mainly geographic information systems, GIS software. Director Jay Hubsch told me that the department uses the Palm Beach County GIS software to view zones, overlays, and properties in the village. Additionally, the department could benefit from implementing AI to reduce time spent on repetitive tasks like permits, application analyses, optimization of land use, code and ordinance review, that's a big one, land use patterns and transportation and environmental impact data. Jay Hubsch allowed me to access the GIS software, and I didn't even know what that was. But it's actually really cool, and it can be used in this department, as we'll talk about, in utilities. It's a growing thing, and it makes everything a lot easier. It's a really cool piece of technology. Other areas that this department could use AI, it would be developments in affordable housing and real estate, urban planning, smart growth, and sustainability. The finance department is one of the departments in the village that is currently in the process of implementing AI. This is called VC3, and it'll automate processes involving procurement cards, accounts payable, PNC transactions, and bank reconciliation. Jeff Snyder told me that it would cost $4,500 to install, and it's a good price considering how much time it would save, and also $5,000 a year. That was his initial estimate. And it's really hard to gauge how expensive different AI software will be, because it really depends on what you're using it for, how you're going to implement it, how big the village is, or the city, wherever you're trying to implement it. But so it was nice to be able to know exactly how much this one would cost, and they're currently implementing that right now. Other ways the finance departments could use AI would be budget forecasting. Programs like ClearGov, OpenGov, and GovPilot, those are really helpful. The village has used those for budget planning. They're not considered full AI software, but they use AI elements to create that budget forecast and make it easier to digest. The fire department, that's a big one. I talked with them for about an hour, which is really nice because I know they're really busy. They said that they use ChatGPT for office communications like memos and bulletins, which are general orders that are not yet policy. The fire administration and Chief Troop told me that further implementation of AI in the fire department could be useful in drafting policies and standing operating procedures, maximizing efficiency in the creation of training programs, and using the GIS software, like I mentioned earlier, with predictive analytics to see vulnerable areas. And you could even run simulations of disaster relief, that's for emergency operations, to ensure maximum effectiveness and public safety. Other areas in other municipalities where AI has helped fire departments involve machine learning and data science approaches that help identify and organize disaster data, predict the financial and safety implications of a disaster, and there's even an AI-powered 24/7 dispatcher to monitor incoming distress call signals. That's probably for bigger cities, like with hundreds of thousands of residents, but it's just cool to see the capabilities. Human resources and risk management, they are not using AI right now, but they are using a software called Bamboo HR, and it's just an example of how the village departments have already use software or technology to aid in their processes. There are ways that AI can be utilized in human resources. The top areas where AI is being used to support HR activities are hiring and recruitment, learning and development, and performance management. With that being said, it would be important to protect employee privacy and data security. That's really important, and HR could create AI policy to help stay away from those issues that could come from implementing AI. In IT, I talked with the director, Brad Gomberg, and he told me that every organization and municipality is either currently using or should be installing some form of AI software. He said that utilizing AI has changed and will continue to change the way Village operates from an everyday perspective. He said that they're currently in the process of purchasing the commercial ChatGPT license plan, so every department can have access to it, and it's the better plan, so it's not just the basic one. This department is one of the departments that will be impacted the most. Obviously, it's the technological one, but just in my 3 months here, I had a few phishing attempts on the emails, and using AI to filter those could lead to less of a risk for corruption and security breaches. Filtering traffic flows and phishing attempts can significantly increase the security of village records and data. Parks and Rec is not using AI right now, but Director Greg Corbett said that the department can significantly benefit from using AI in various ways, including enhancing efficiency, resource management, and resident experience. Utilizing AI can also help with predictive maintenance, safety and security, community engagement, and environmental monitoring. Overall, integrating AI in Parks and Rec operations could lead to more proactive management and better service delivery. Overall, this entire presentation is mainly about enhancing resident experiences with village residents in facilities and events. The police department, like HR, it's important to maintain the privacy of citizens, not necessarily employees like HR, but with police it's more citizens because you're dealing with very sensitive information. The police department uses ChatGPT for public information and media releases, but Chief Medina and Assistant Chief McGrew told me that using AI in the police department, you could create more advanced training scenarios. We tried to work it out, but we weren't able to. There's a virtual training method called Embarrass, and you put on these VR goggles and you go through these simulations of what police officers have to deal with. And I know I would fail, so I'm okay with not doing it. But it was really cool. And as this technology advances, there's more and more opportunities for enhancement of police protocols. Other police departments can utilize AI in areas like predictive policing, video surveillance, and records maintenance. However, like I said, it's crucial to carefully maintain the security and privacy of citizens. Almost done with the departments one by one, sorry. Public Works isn't using AI for any specific operations, but they do use it for general office and interdepartmental communications. Director Doug Chambers and I discussed this. He said that AI will continue to become increasingly prominent in everyday organizational operations, and implementing AI in the department would be beneficial in reducing time spent on processes involving bids, technical information and evaluations, writing contracts, agenda summary prep, and tabulations and recurring work orders. Other areas where AI could be used in public works include asset management, resource allocation, predictive maintenance of roads and sidewalks, and traffic management for safety regulations. Last one of these, sorry. The water utilities department, that's a really important one. The village, the water department, it's one of the most important departments in general. Citizens would definitely notice that their water department wasn't working right. They currently utilize AI for administrative and communicative functions. And this one, Grammarly, was a big one. Director Marjorie Craig strongly recommends using Grammarly. My fellow intern Diego Boada told me about Florida Atlantic University. They're implementing AI in a number of its engineering programs. Wearable sensors to detect leaks in water pipes and proactively address water utilities issues is another example of predictive maintenance, and that could help save the village money and also reduce the amount of problems that residents would face from unexpected issues. So I wanted to include this slide. This slide has slides created entirely by AI. This is just scratching the surface of the capabilities of AI, but my presentation, it took a decent amount of time. I had to do side research, and then I had to meet with each department individually, and then I had to design the slides, compile, take notes, everything. And this took about 5 minutes. I just typed into ChatGPT, give me some bullet points on AI in the police department. And then it designed these slides, it shows the colors and everything. But you'll notice that these slides developed by AI they don't stand up on their own, in my opinion. It shows that they can deliver information quickly, and it saves people time, but it doesn't go into as much detail as it should, and you can just tell it lacks that personal touch. So that leads me to this quote by Fei Li. She's a computer software engineer at Harvard. She says, "Artificial intelligence is not a substitute for human intelligence. It's a tool to amplify human creativity and ingenuity." And that's basically what my main theme of this presentation is. In every discussion I had with department heads, a common theme emerged. Each department acknowledged the increasing prominence of AI in local government processes, emphasizing the importance of using AI as a tool and not as a crutch. Implementing AI software that streamlines governmental processes will enhance productivity and performance in the village. And Tequesta is already adapting to advancements in technology and leveraging AI to enhance government efficiency. But the village can continue to be a leader in South Florida in this area by further embracing AI as a tool. That being said, this is the most important thing I want to leave you with. It's crucial to preserve the characteristics that define the village, which are personalized customer service and human touch. By integrating AI, employees can be free to engage even more effectively with residents. Increasing the use of AI could help the village ensure maximum efficiency and effectiveness with taxpayer dollars in service of these residents. So with that, that's my presentation on AI. Thank you all for the summer and letting me do this. This has been a great experience.
Awesome.
Great job.
Thank you, Nicholas. Council, any comments or questions?
I mean, I got 1,000 questions, but I will not, only because I'm one of those people that I've been a little more reluctant to AI than I should be, but I love the presentation, great job, and best of luck, don't be a stranger, we'll all be here, well, I don't know if we'll all be here, but most of us will be here. And just, yeah, great luck, or good luck, and thank you so much.
Good job. I hope you enjoyed your summer.
Thank you.
Great job, Nick. I use AI daily, and I don't know if I can go without it anymore. I appreciate you clarifying some of those things as well.
Great job, and it was a pleasure having you here all summer. Best of luck when you go back.
Thank you.
So I relate to Councilmember Painter. I was very reluctant to get on board with the AI, but at Florida League of Cities conference last year, Kevin Suris was one of the keynote speakers who was like a pioneer on AI, and so I was like, oh, I better get on board fast and educate myself fast. So I've educated myself, and I'm more on board now, and so it's a very relevant topic, and so I appreciate you doing all that research for us. And then something that I think I want all council and the public to know is that the county is actually working on draft guidelines for AI. So I think March I was notified about that. So it'd be interesting to see what they come out with. I think it'd be good for us to take a look at as well.
Yeah.
So I am so happy to hear you enjoyed your summer here, and I want to thank all our staff too for being so welcoming and supporting Nicholas on his internship as well. Good luck to you in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas. Take care.
Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, communications from citizens. Laurie, are there any cards?
Yes. We have Paige Lewis.
Hi, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. First, thank you for having me here. I'm Paige Lewis. I'm running for school board in District 1. All about safety, academics, and accountability in a very large budget that we have. I'm qualified for this position with a background in education, mental health, as well as small business. But in case anybody has gotten any of my mailers, you know that I am very hyper-focused on literacy and reading. Reading, it actually helps with so many other problems that we have in the school district. So kids that can read on grade level are not a problem in the classroom because they love learning. They come to school. The teachers are much happier because they have children that are reading and want to learn. It cut costs later in the as they progress through 3rd grade, 4th grade. When kids that can read in kindergarten through 2nd grade, we don't have to teach to a test because our kids know how to read and actually select A, B, C, D. So we save a lot of money by actually making sure that our kids can read. And this is really my focus. I'm all about safety. We have to have safety in our classrooms. And we're working on that now with in varied ways, but we really do need to ensure that we have enough school police present in all of our schools. We know it's not if there's going to be an event, it's when there will be another event. And we need to make sure that our school police, our teachers, and our students are prepared for those moments. The arrival time for outside help, even if it's only 6 minutes, there's a lot of things that can happen in 6 minutes. So the people that are in the building really need to know what's going on, and I'm very, very focused on that. Again, academics, I mean, if you can't read, you can't do math. You can't do any of the other subjects. So I'm hyper-focused on that. I have a plan for that. One of the things is making sure that all of our teachers are trained properly to teach reading. They may have 1 or 2 classes in teaching college, and that's something that I want to work with the state to ensure that we are really doing that on a college level, but we need to start at the district level because we need to start now. Our kids need to read. Our teachers need better pay. A lot of my teachers that support me actually live in Tequesta over the line in Martin County. And we need to make sure that our teachers can live in our communities. And I see that I'm running out of time, so I'm just going to say, please forgive me for all my flyers. You can save them and wallpaper in your bathroom. But please vote for me on August 20th. We need change, and it starts with our kids being able to read. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jan Fenwick.
Hi, yes, I'm Jan Fenwick. I live on Azalea Circle. There are 10 houses on Azalea Circle. 5 right now are rentals or Airbnb. And this is just a small sampling of what's been going on here in the village. There's another house that the lady passed, and some relatives that are out of state are taking over. So I think the 6 house is either gonna be an Airbnb or a rental. I grew up in this town from 1976 and then went off for 23 years in the military and came back and chose to live here in this town because it was a residential town. It's no longer a residential town. These people coming in don't even wave to the neighbors. When we have a very good community in our circle between us and Ridgeway behind us, we have a lot of neighborhood parties and get-togethers, and we watch out for one another. And these new people that are coming in, and I don't know if you can call it affordable rentals when they're over $5,000 a month. You have to have quite a bit of money to afford that. And most of these rentals are $4,000 and $5,000. But these people, they don't want to assimilate. They don't even want to wave to the people. They don't even talk to the neighbors, even though myself and the whole neighborhood has come out and tried to talk to the neighbors, the rental people, and get them involved. You know, be neighborly. You have lost that in this town. And if you aren't careful, this whole place is going to be a rental. Now, the 5 of us that remain, and one of them rents what used to be a garage, so 4.5 of us that remain right now are all talking about moving out of the area because we can't put up with this. The Airbnb, they don't come and clean it. They don't put their trash out. For 3 weeks, there was a mattress thrown out on the lawn that the trash people didn't even pick up. They just came today and picked that up. So it's just, I don't know what you gotta do. I understand if I wanna rent my house, I should be able to rent my house, but you took a residential town and now changed it into a transient town to where we don't know who our neighbors are. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I know, I do just want to say, so the public is aware that especially, rentals and especially the vacation rentals, that's a tough topic that we are preempted by the state on. It's pretty much every session, it has been on the deck for some kind of bill modification. I know that our ordinances are as strong as they can be within the state preemption, so our staff could at least look into your street specifically and just make sure everyone's registered properly and they're following, the law to the ability that we can enforce.
Right, but the short-term rentals, they don't have to provide anything to you if they rent less than 3 times per year.
Okay, like I said, our staff will look into it, and if you leave your information with the clerk, they'll get back to you, ma'am. Thank you so much for coming and talk to us.
Harold Taylor?
Harold Taylor, 13 Chapel Court. At the November 2023 council meeting, 3 citizens expressed their concerns about bright line passenger trains blowing their horns at the Tequesta Drive crossing. Since that meeting, other citizens have contacted the village clerk's office, estimating that a total of 68 people have voiced their concerns. Well, I'd like to voice 2 concerns I have with the village council's request that our manager look into the creation of a quiet zone at that crossing. My first concern is about public safety. I am sure that Florida East Coast Railway has a certain degree of backup in their designs for railway crossings. How deep these backup systems go, I do not know. What I do know is that the system can experience failures in at least one direction. I have been forced more than once to detour from County Line Road to Tequesta Drive to get across the tracks because the crossing arms are down and the red lights are flashing at County Line Road with no approaching train. Can the system fail in the other direction and fail to warn the public of an approaching train? That's the safety concern I have. Fortunately, the FEC has a perfect backup system that does not depend on any at-grade installations. That system, of course, involves blowing horns at all railway crossings. By creating a quiet zone, You are eliminating that backup system and putting the public safety at risk. That is not a good idea. My second concern involves the use of public funds to address the concerns of so few people. Before the last council meeting, I had asked our village manager about the quiet zone. He told me that the village would have to spend about $60,000 to relocate, I think he said driveway, in order to implement the quiet zone. Spend about $60,000 to relocate a driveway in order to implement the quiet zone. That enables spending between $7,500 and $10,000 in each of those 6 to 8 people to address their concerns of annoyance or anxiety over the blowing of these horns. These concerns should be considered a sign of a mental health issue. These people can address mental health apps like Woodbot that provides on-demand support that aims to change behaviors and feelings. These people should contact a clinical psychologist for the additional help they need to address their concerns. In summary, eliminating the blowing of horns by creating a quiet zone creates a safety concern and spends taxpayer money on too few people. Village council members serve the interest of all 6,000 of us Tequesta residents, not just a few.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I have no more resident comments for general.
Okay, any other public comment? Okay, moving on, communications from council.
I don't have anything tonight.
I have no comments as well.
Same.
I just want to thank all of our staff again for hosting a successful Palm Beach County League of Cities lunch a couple weeks ago. Even as of this week at other meetings and events I've been to, people are still coming up to me and ranting and raving about it, so just great job by all. Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to appointments. Agenda item 7, consider appointment to fill EAC vacancy.
The Environmental Advisory Committee currently has a vacancy due to the resignation of member Namath, and we have put the solicitation out for the vacancy, and Wade Chance was an applicant, and he is a Tequesta resident, and so he is here this evening to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Hi, Wade. If you wouldn't mind just telling us a little bit about yourself and your interest in the EAC?
You bet. I'm
Thank
Wade
you.
Chance. Lived in the village about 4.5 years. My wife and I, we're pretty much empty nesters now. Our kids are off in college and doing well. So I've got a little extra time. I'd love to serve my community, and I saw the announcement come across and thought I'd apply. I am not an expert in advisory council or advisory topics, but I've certainly spent about the last 33 years in senior executive roles where we've discussed a lot of complex topics and brought folks together in a common goal. So if that interests you, I'd love to serve my community. If not, no hard feelings. Yeah.
Thank you. Council, any comments or questions?
No, thank you for your willingness to get involved.
Yeah.
Councilmember Brandon?
No, I mean, you are aware they are a 2 p.m. meeting.
What's that?
They have meetings at 2 p.m.
At 2 p.m.?
Does that
I
work?
can make that happen.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
We talked about that last time, right?
Yeah, I do believe the EAC is talking about, is it on their, going to be on their agenda to talk about the timing?
Yes, they have a meeting next Wednesday, and that is going to be teed up for discussion.
Okay, so for future, if they do decide to change, that could maybe help with future applicants.
I have no questions for you. Thank you.
Wade, thank you for your willingness to put yourself out there. It's not always, because you'll sit here during those meetings, so just so you know. So, but thank you for that. It's honorable for us to see you and for the things that you're willing to commit yourself to. So thank you very much.
Yep. I second that. It's, it's your time is valuable, and to want to give back to your community is great. So thank you for stepping up. All right, can I get a motion?
Motion to approve?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Do I take public comment on appointments? Do I need to take public comment?
I would consider that a more ministerial
Okay,
act, and
just
that
wanna
is one of the
confirm.
exceptions you are not legally required.
Okay, sorry about that. Just want to be sure. Someone made a motion.
Motion to approve?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wade, I'll be in touch with you.
Okay, standing reports, village attorney.
Well, just since I feel like I have to say something, I'll let you know my staff and I attended the Florida Municipal Attorneys Association annual seminar at the end of July and got a little bit smarter on everything from back to basic topics regarding code enforcement and comp plan amendments to cutting edge, new legislation and new case law on homelessness, and ran the gamut. It was a good seminar, and we had a good experience. And that will be my report for tonight.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. Village manager.
Most of you guys are aware of the work that's being done on Country Club to replace the AC pipe, and that project is getting closer to the end, which brings bad news typically, or would usually be good news, but bad news is we will have some inconveniences there at El Portal and Tequesta Drive. Starting August 13th through the 16th, we will have some road closures, so that entrance of Country Club will be rerouted around to the north entrance for that 2 or 3 day period. So I know that our team is working with a contractor to mitigate it and try to keep it open as much, but I think for those 3 days, we're gonna end up having that closed. And so we will be putting out notices. You'll see some signage. We'll have the big police sign out there as well, and trying to just let everybody know. Inconvenience, but it's we need to tie in our water line to that. So if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna ask Laurie, I guess kudos to her and her staff for the school supply drive that they put on, and it seems like, what started as an idea a few years ago has just grown, and so I will turn it over to Laurie to talk about the success of that.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. So this was the third annual teacher school supply drive, and it's kind of a reverse supply drive in that when you see school supply drives, those generally go to the students in the school, but this drive goes to the teachers because so much money comes out of their pockets every year. We had 23 teachers this year, from pre-K through high school, and one college teacher who goes into the preschool classes. And our business community came out this year with overwhelming generosity. And 19 business donors donated approximately $6,000 in gift cards, cash, or checks. The participants are Tequesta resident teachers, and we opened it up this year to teachers that teach in a Tequesta school, such as Good Shepherd, the Harvey School, and Providence Education. So our teachers are very grateful, and I ask that they always thank the business sponsors too.
Awesome. So, thank you, Laurie and her team, and Diana and Marianne for their work with that. A couple of meeting announcements. Next Wednesday, August 14th, Environmental Advisory Committee meeting. August 15th, Planning and Zoning meeting. Then August 26th, we'll have our third budget meeting. Hopefully it's on everybody's calendar. And then my last, announcement that I'll steal everybody's thunder, but I just want to, if you haven't heard, Chief Trube has announced his retirement, and I would like to be the first in public to just, publicly thank him for his 31 years of service. Most people probably don't realize I probably learned more from him than he has from me, and so I wish him the best. We've still got 6 months with him, if not more. But I just wanted to publicly thank Chief Trube and his work, and while he's not going yet, I think just kudos to him and his work he's done with dedicated his life to the village, and so I appreciate you. That's my report.
Any comments or questions for village manager?
Thank you.
Just one quick one. You mentioned the road closure for the water main, and I know there's upcoming closures in the country club, and school starts on Monday. Do we communicate with the school districts or with the bus drivers now?
We will be, yep.
Okay, just
We
wanna
will
make
be
sure.
doing that. I know we've had it from what I understand, over time, we've had a couple of inconveniences there where the school would stop there and the kids would walk over, or they'd get them. We're gonna coordinate that effort. I think our road projects, we're gonna delay that, so we're not having everything at once. I know Loxahatchee is trying to do a couple projects over there, like it's just the the storm all hitting us all at once, but I know Doug and Marjorie are working together to try to mitigate this as much as we can, but it's just, I'll say it is what it is. And so we'll try to
You're on
mitigate
it.
it though.
Okay, thank you. All right, next up, Police Department.
Good evening, council, mayor, vice mayor, city attorney, city manager, and city clerk. As y'all have the police department's report in front of y'all, I'm just going to touch on a few highlights for the month of July and take any questions y'all may have after. For some of the monthly service tasks, we've continued to hold our nautical club events every weekend. This weekend will be the last weekend for the nautical club. Sergeant Korkowski will take the children to the boys' park and have a cookout with the children, watch them swim and snorkel there. He's done a very excellent, very good job, just been excellent with the children this year. So he's deserved a lot of credit for nautical club this year. So we've held weekly Explorer meetings, trying to wrap up the final loose strings for the Explorer club. We're there. We're looking very forward to having this new program with us. It should be a very big benefit for our children here in the village of Tequesta. We continue to address the parking issues along Beach Road and also started enforcing the illegal fishing on Tequesta Bridge even more. So we've had a lot of complaints about the fishing on Tequesta Bridge, and we started really being on top of that so the residents will know and see us there and not, how should I put, just see an extra police presence there. For meetings this month, we've had a meeting with Tequesta Oaks Homeowners Association in reference to parking in there, and we also attended the North County Police Chiefs meeting. For training, all our officers attended defensive tactics, and Chief Medina completed the Federal Bureau of Investigation's National Command College. We're very proud, the police department is very proud of Chief Medina for being able to complete that course. That's a very prestigious course he was able to attend. For the Marine unit, for the stats, we've had 33.5 hours of Marine patrol, 12 contacts, 1 vessel stop, and 1 warning. For the Bureau of Land Management, we've had 20 foot hours of patrol, 134 contacts, and 4 written warnings. And for parking enforcement citations, we've had 30, and that includes Beach Road and Tequesta Oaks. So I'll take any questions you may have.
Thank you. Council?
No questions, thank you.
Thank you.
Are you doing, what do you guys call it, bus stop operation?
Operation Safe Start,
There you
yes,
go.
we are. That will start,
Sorry, I'm coming to summer brain.
yes,
See
that
what
will start
happens?
August 12th.
Okay, that's always a fun time.
Yes, very much so. We enjoy being out and interacting with the children and the parents at the bus stops.
That's when you really get to know us as parents.
We're looking forward to
7
seeing
in the morning. Mhm.
Every year, I've been here 8 years now, and every year it's more and more kids. The demographics are really changing, and Tequesta is very exciting.
I told you all to get ready, and they're all turning into tweens.
They are.
Okay,
I have no
Council?
questions or comments. Thank you for the update.
Just on the nautical club, I know it's been lauded meeting after meeting, but some of the comments that have come in from the parents of the participants have been shared with me, and it's overwhelming. And it's one of these programs that makes Tequesta, as I always say, truly Tequesta. So congratulations, Officer Krakowski, the work that time he puts in and with your team over there. The pictures have been amazing, and the feedback. It's just something very unique that we do that I hope we always will continue to do. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
I have nothing. Thank you. Okay, Fire Department.
See if we can't get the show on the road here. First of all, I want to thank the manager for those nice comments. I appreciate that. So, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Village Council, Mr. Manager, Village Attorney, and Village Clerk, you of course have my report in front of you. This last month, the fire department has been engaged in quite a bit of training, actually, mostly water rescue related. We've conducted several drills in-house, and we also invited in Dive Rescue International to conduct REDS class training, which is essentially our escape models for our dive rescue team. In doing this training and in doing some follow-up training that we're planning for October, this will bring our dive team membership up to 9, with one more, just one class short. And this is a big accomplishment for our department, because just a few years ago, we were on the verge of losing this team. We only have 3 members. So we go from 3 to 9, almost 10 in a very short time. So I'm very proud of that. Additionally, we had Palm Beach State come in and they taught an engine company operations class to all 3 shifts. We are in fact trying to bring them back again here later in this budget year. Upcoming events, Operation Safe Start. So that is on my list of things to do. We work with Tequesta PD very closely on that. We visit as many bus stops as we can over a 3-day period. The police departments were good about spotting all the buses and basically escorting them through the village. Our firefighters will be out talking to kids and parents and basically reminding them to stay out of the streets, stay up on the sidewalk, stay in a well-lit area, and normal stuff, no horseplay, and just say no to drugs, right? So that's a good teamwork thing that we'll be able to do. We are also planning to host the Fire Chiefs Association. That is on the 22nd of this month, so we'll be doing that. And we are going to be hosting another Palm Beach County Fire Rescue Training class. On August 16th, I'll participate in the public information program regarding flooding and working with the building department on that for CRS points and so forth. We also here recently under emergency management, we completed our point of distribution agreement that was in your consent agenda. I'm very proud of that, and I got a lot of help from Jay, who kind of led the charge on that. That is something we hope to duplicate with other churches and other areas that we think we can establish a pod in. So that's going to be a huge help, I think, in the long run as far as dealing with emergency management that grows beyond the capabilities of staff. So, and I think I'll address the last thing, it'll be my retirement. So first I want to, I just want to say thank you. I want to thank the village council for supporting myself and the fire department in all the years I've been the fire chief and really all the years I've been here at Tequesta. I'd like to thank the manager and of course the senior staff that's both here and maybe not here tonight, just for their support. One thing I've learned as fire chief is you don't get anything done in a vacuum. You gotta have support. We've had that through all of you. We've had it through all the residents. I think anytime a survey goes out, fire department always scores very high with what the residents think of our product. And with that, I'll turn around to the guys over here and girls over here in the corner. We can't do it without our firefighters, of course. They're the team that supports everything that we do. And again, we don't get anything done in a vacuum. Everything that we accomplish together. And that's the way it works. That's the way it's always worked. But I want to say thank you to everybody that I've mentioned tonight. It's been, for me, an amazing 36-year career, 31 plus here at Tequesta. I'm looking forward to my last 6 months. We still have a lot of work to do. It's kind of a surreal moment. Yes, there's mixed emotions, but at a certain point in time, I think you know it's the right time. Kind of alluded to it with water rescue. I could point to a lot of other things in the fire department, but our fire department is very strong right now, very strong. We will take our last firefighter or two that are on probation. They should be off probation in October. It'll be the first time in probably more than a decade we didn't have somebody on probation. We've got good leadership in the captain and lieutenant's rank and senior firefighters. We've done a lot with equipment. We've done a lot with vehicles. We've done a lot with training. And again, through the hard work of the guys that are back here and the support of everybody else, we were able to accomplish a lot of those things. And we're going to continue to push. And I think that's the bottom line. We strive to get better. And I think when I step away, whoever replaces me will do the same. And my hope, and it's not really a hope, I know it'll happen, is that they get the same support that I've received and the fire department has received from all of you that serve or will serve, and all the residents here, because they need it. This job is difficult. With that, I'll just say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
Any comments or questions?
Well, yeah. I guess I should say, did you have any questions about the report? Or did I sneak past you there?
Oh, we got you for 6 more months.
Yeah, I was saying, I'm
not
getting choked up yet. We're here.
I got it.
We got a
There's
little
that
bit
safe
longer to
start
go.
picture. I like that one.
I got a comment for you. Oh, sorry.
I'll
Please.
save my special goodbye for you.
For
the end.
later, okay.
I already
We've
have
got
it.
6 months. We'll have more meetings.
Yeah.
Chief,
What?
Before you leave.
Boots is coming, what?
You've done an incredible job with this fire department and these firefighters, from the education, the training, the certifications, the customer service. It's above many, many departments that are much larger with much more resources. You've really done a great job and created a special group. So thank you.
I appreciate that, and it's those guys that do it, so kudos to them.
Good job.
He took all the credit.
That's John Costio.
It's all there.
So, the advice I give to the next chief is if John asks for anything, just say no.
Thank you, Chief.
Good
Utilities
evening.
Department.
It's Marjorie Craig, Utilities Department. It is so hard to follow him, I gotta tell you. But I will miss him greatly. So I won't go through everything here. I did want to give you a shout out. Thank you very much for approving the SCADA improvements out of the plant. They were very old and they're at risk of being blown over by a storm. It's a first. We've still got a few more things to replace and some training, but that'll be coming to you in the future, and just a few pictures there. And then the manager talked about the road closure, which I could barely come in here and talk about that because I knew school was starting. And Doug, we thought we had a really elegant solution and it just didn't work. I will tell you that he really worked with me, and you know I've been doing this a long time. I can't say enough about my colleagues and just the coordination that Doug has helped with, as all the directors. So we tried. We didn't want to have to close it on the opening day of school. The other thing I'll just mention is that Martin County we do have the interconnect open with Martin County. They are taking about 300,000 gallons a day. We did have, you'll see some pictures here. We have a little project to upgrade the interconnects with the town of Jupiter and also with Martin County. We just didn't quite, the meter gave out before we could get there. But you can see that some of it still needs replacing, so we'll be doing that. The last thing I want to do is introduce my new engineering intern. His name is, he's going to have to tell you all the names, but it's Diego Andres Mojica Boya. Did I say it right? Almost. I'm still learning. I'm actually trying to learn Spanish on Duolingo, so my accent's atrocious, but I took French, so it sounds like French. So he already has a degree, so he's working on his master's degree. He's pretty amazing. Anything I throw at him, he's been jumping on it, and you will just want to introduce him because you'll be seeing him around. And then Nick is going to show up and heckle him when he gives his presentation to you at the end. Just saying. Are there any questions?
Council?
No questions, thank you.
I have a comment. Just want to thank you for, when I first took a tour of the facility, and there's a lot of numbers that you give out, and I don't really have anything to compare those to, right? You can tell everybody takes pride in their job, but doing some work with another municipality and then seeing their numbers, thank you for doing what you do for the village, not just the quality of the water, but how you use the resources and everything in between. Phenomenal job when I start using those comparisons.
I appreciate that. I do want to mention that I have not used AI to create any of these. And that I worked with Nick on some of the, information. Most of what his slides showed for utilities and for some of the other things used analytics, which is data, as opposed to what I would consider AI, which is learning, to predict. So, is that my deadline? Okay, I'm done.
Thank you, Marjorie.
Thank you,
Vice Mayor,
Marjorie.
do you have anything?
Thank you, Marjorie, and welcome, Diego.
Welcome.
Welcome to you.
Okay, on to regular agenda, old business, agenda item 12, second reading of ordinance number 05-24, which is to add private museum as a use to the C3 district.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 0524, an ordinance of the Village Council of the Village of Tequesta, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances at Chapter 78 zoning, Article 6 in general, Section 78-4 definitions, creating an entirely new definition for the term private museum, And Article 6, Schedule of District Regulations, Section 78, 178C3, General Commercial District, to add private museum as special exception use with distance separation requirements. And at Article 10, Off-Street and On-Street Parking and Loading Regulations, Section 78, 705, Required Number of Parking Spaces, to provide the number of parking spaces required for these establishments, providing that each and every other section, subsection of Chapter 78 shall remain in full force and effect as previously adopted, providing conflicts clause, severability clause, authority to codify an effective date, and for other purposes. We have arrived at second reading.
Thank you. Is there a presentation tonight? I don't know if we, no, I see something on the,
I think the last time this was before the council, you had only 4 of you here. There was no action taken, so we're back.
right, I just saw something on the screen, so we'll make sure there's no presentation. But yeah, we're back because there was no action at the last
Right.
meeting, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, any discussion, council?
I don't have anything else to discuss.
Nothing new to add.
Yeah.
Nothing new that I haven't stated in all the other meetings.
Yep.
Same here. Any public comment? Okay, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Opposed?
Okay, moving on, agenda item 13, ordinance number 07-24, second reading of adopting live local and the enforcement procedures to our code.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 0724, ordinance of the Village Council, Village of Tequesta, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances in Chapter 78, zoning, Article 6, Schedule of District Regulations by creating a new Division 3 entitled Affordable Housing and Live Local Act, provide and implement administrative procedures and requirements for development of affordable housing projects pursuant to the Florida Live Local Act, providing for enforcement, providing for penalties for violations, providing that each and every other section, subsection of Chapter 78 shall remain in full force and effect as previously adopted, providing conflicts clause, severability clause, authority to codify an effective date, and for other purposes. This version of the ordinance that's before you does have revisions pursuant to council direction regarding enforcement, and Jay can remind me what the other edit was.
Clarifying that a conceptual presentation
Thank
is
you.
not required.
Yes.
And that's my presentation.
Sorry, man.
Nice work.
Council, any comments or questions on this one?
Nothing further. Nothing further.
Okay, any public comment? Yes, ma'am, could you come up and state your name and address at the podium?
New to this, without the AI and everything, Ann Minor, 478 Dover Road. I'm just curious, like, how many public housing buildings are there in Tequesta now, so that this has some context around it for us? Sorry,
So, I think, if council's okay, Jay can answer the question, and then after that, if you have any more questions, Jay is your guy to answer everything.
So this is the Florida State Legislature adopted legislation that says that when developers build affordable housing, the municipality has to approve it if it meets certain criteria. So we're basically just codifying what the state is forcing us to do. We're not approving any actual developments. We're just putting some stuff on our code to make sure that we're consistent with the state statute, and also just clarifying how we'll enforce certain things so that people actually have to meet those state guidelines. We don't have any, we don't have any proposed, or we don't have any that would qualify currently, but just being safe here.
Thank you. All right, any other public comment? Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Under new business, agenda item 14, resolution number 15-24 to adopt the new refuse, recycling, and yard waste collection contract with Waste Management.
It says Jeff Snyder, but I'll be Jeff Snyder. The village recently heard a presentation from Waste Management. I think it was in July. And so their proposal was to automate, similar to cities around us. The discussion started a few years ago, actually, when we saw a huge rate increase, and at that time, due to supply chain issues, COVID, and I think the direction of council at that time was to work with Waste Management to make sure that that didn't happen again, and really look at our rates. As part of that conversation, we really looked at automation because that's what the surrounding cities are. We're able to take advantage of some savings because the smaller cities or the bigger cities around us take on some of those costs. And so tonight you have in front of you an extension of our current contract that has 1 year left on it. The idea was to smooth out those costs over a 6-year period. We are seeing an increase of $3.46 a month. That is the proposal. We have advertised at $19.45, so the rate increase that we've negotiated with Waste Management is $19.20. The other 25 cents would be an admin fee that we would collect to offset our cost. It's 1.29% of the cost. Typically with our franchise agreements, all of our other franchise utilities, water, electricity, gas, we charge a 9% to those funds. So we're not really capturing our costs, but that is the proposal in front of you tonight. I know Waste Management looks like they have their whole team here. They can answer probably any question you have, but Mr. Saban has been great. We've had a lot of great discussions about really trying to keep the costs down. Obviously, everybody's seeing an increase in employee costs. So I think, in my perspective, sitting in my seat, Jeff has really tried to work hard to get us the lowest rate possible within their realm. So.
Thank you. Jeff, do you have anything to add before I open up to council discussion?
No, ma'am. I concur. It's been a long road, but it's been developmental, informational, educational, and we put a whole lot of information in, and we've spent a whole lot of time in developing this plan for the village residents. We're very excited about it.
All right, council, I'll open up for discussion.
If I can add one more thing that I didn't add is that, this is going to be an automated system. We do plan on rolling out all the information to our citizens, make sure they understand, that process. We don't see any drop in service. You will still get your pickup twice a week. Still have the other pickup with the bulk pickup as long as you make the phone call. There will be a slight change in scheduling for some residents, not a drop in service, just a change in the days, but they will publicize that and make sure that, and we'll help them make sure the residents are informed about those.
Thank you. All right, council.
I don't really have much. I've lived in a city that has automated, worked just fine. You also get a pretty expensive trash can out of the deal, so that's good. But no, I think this is the right move. We certainly don't want to end up like the example in our memo here. So I think this is, all in all, a very competitive and a good choice for our village.
Thank you for always working well with our team. And thank you for keeping our 2 days a week service. That's the biggest thing I hear from residents is, oh my goodness, we're going to 1 day a week, but we're not. So just thank you, and always give Mr. Allen information, because we always love pushing that information out to our residents. Just no 4-minute videos on how to roll your can out to the driveway, please. She knows.
Mr. Saban, your first presentation, I believe I was a little off-put, as it almost seemed like you were telling us what to do opposed to presenting. However, I was mistaken on the approach after speaking with multiple elected officials across the county. I think it was more of you knew you were offering a good service at a good price. And after speaking with all those elected officials, I easily came to that conclusion that this was a good change and you were offering a great service to our residents. So thank you. And even though I didn't say it, I apologize for thinking that your first presentation, but thank you.
Yeah, I echo what my colleagues say, and nobody likes an increase, and it's insulting to say, well, it's only $3.46 a month, because to some people that's a lot of money. But there's certain things, there's a baseline that I believe that government has to provide. It's keeping your roads well, it's delivering your trash, in our case, in our wonderful village, it's the water, it's our stormwater, and trash collection is something that we have to do. And the village can do it better and cheaper than an individual homeowner. And I know some people, we have got feedback where people are upset about this, and I understand where they're coming from. But I stand behind this because, number one, we have a partner in Waste Management, and prior to that, Nichols, that has served this village for a long time. They meet our philosophy of a green footprint. Their trucks that run through the village are quiet, and they're natural gas propelled. and nobody likes to approve, and we struggled. We had the same conversations last year with our water. But it's just something that the village has to do, and the village can do better and more efficient than individuals can. That's why it falls on the village. So I support this, and I thank Waste Management for being a great partner.
I second a lot of what the Vice Mayor said, and if SWA has a link on their website that shows all the municipalities and who they use, and you can see in our area, Waste Management is really prominent in our area, and if you go out to bid and you get others bid, they're just not going to be as cost efficient because they don't have the benefit of already being in the area. And then there's actually a lot of municipalities that do their own service, but if you do the math on what this costs annually versus like starting up our own, it's not even comparable. It's not even a question. So I am confident, not going out to bid, that we are getting the best price that we can. One question I was hoping you could answer, because it hasn't really been discussed, and I kind of just want it on record, is the commercial rates are going up too, and I don't think notices go out for the commercial rates, and they're not on a resolution either, because they don't have to be. But can you just, for record, explain the commercial rate changes?
Absolutely. Thank you for the comments. Really appreciate it. We're proud, and I have to introduce our team who's with me this evening, because without them, I'm just they do all the work, and so I'm very blessed to have Alexandra Martinello. She's our communications expert and specialist. We've prepared all the collateral, the information mentioned, both for social media, and we've got it in draft form. So after this evening's meeting, we'll be circling back with your staff and sharing all that information with you. We've already shared some drafts back and forth to make sure that the pertinent information is included. But that comes from our expert over here, thank you. Abaddon Bailey, she's our operations manager. She's where the rubber meets the road every day. With deployment of our crews and every morning, she makes it happen. She's so familiar with the village, and she's very happy to be serving the village residents as well. And then the senior district manager, Dwayne Robinson, who's been with the company many, many years and has gone up through the ranks. And he really is the point person for our operation in all of WM and Martin County. With that, to answer your question about commercial rates are included in the franchise agreement, and they're a very integral and very important part of it. We don't, and actually, the specific increase to a commercial customer in the village of Tequesta, their rate is going up only 34 cents per cubic yard. Because the rates are market, they're within market and competitive, but those rates are really important because they drive revenue that helps us kind of offset. Not to say the word supplementary or subsidized, but whatever, they do help. And also, in the village is unique in a certain way that the commercial businesses and some of the condominium, they're containerized. They have the ability to flex on their service depending on season and off season. So they get the benefit of that. But the commercial rates are included in the exhibit, and they will be adjusted, and they are actually part of the franchise agreement. Did I answer your question?
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
And then my only other questions, you kind of touched it. When is the marketing or information campaign going to start? Like, how long is that campaign going to go to when, you're going to start picking up automated? It's like, how much time will we have to educate the residents?
She gave me cheat sheets.
You knew you were going to get the question.
It's not AI. Well, that's AI. She's AI. But yeah, that presentation was fascinating too by your intern. That was excellent. We were thinking of ways in how we can incorporate in our business customer service and some other things that we want to improve upon by creating some interactive abilities for customers. So that's something that we're going to be thinking about as a company going forward, to improve our accessibility by the resident and the customers. Number 1, mailbox week of August 26th. Postcard coming soon, coming to your curb very soon. So that's the first mailer that will go out, followed by in conjunction with the social media. That will reflect the same information, but it'll be based on and formatted for social media. That says postcard in time in conjunction with the postcard delivery week of August 26th as well. So bear with me.
That's fine.
The next is social media number 2, week before cart delivery. So the week before the carts go out, you're gonna send out a social save the date for everyone on social media, week of September 9th, correct? You can correct me anytime you want. Awesome. Oh, cool. Okay, cart brochure. And we have brought one.
Okay.
Wait.
So the social media
You gotta come on. Don't be bashful.
Hello. The social media post would go out the week before cards would begin delivery, which would happen during the week of, I believe, September 18th. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, September 18th. So we would have a brochure attached to each cart in the bag. It outlines the services. It also would give the new service map. It will also provide a link to your website, so residents can view the map on your website. Good, good. And then our final would be another social media post provided to you guys, reminding residents the week before the service changes to mark their calendar because the new dates will go into effect on October 7th. So this is a very quick coming campaign. Your first communications to the residents would be arriving the week of October 26th, carts the week of September 18th, and new service in effect the week of October 7th.
I have a question. Can I ask a question? Okay. So if, let's say that a resident has the same style trash can that you guys will be dispensing, could they bring that to the curb as well, or are we limited to the one that comes directly from Waste Management?
Great question. We're issuing the standard 64-gallon garbage cart to every resident. And one of the most frequently asked questions is, and we've addressed this before, what do we do with our other cart if they have already bought? And we're saying utilize that for your yard waste.
Okay. So it should be branded, the Waste Management branded can. And I think you had mentioned, or I had heard that we may have the option to purchase a second. Is that true?
That's absolutely correct.
Okay.
For those that need and generate the larger households, you can acquire an additional cart for a total of $100. That includes delivery to your house and everything, and no increase in the cost of collection. But yes, they are available.
Got a lot of.
I would like to add that those questions are actually going to be included in the brochure here and are frequently asked questions. So I have, how do I request a second trash cart? What do I do with my old trash cart? And how do I pre-schedule an oversized bulk waste pickup pile? Because I feel those are our most frequently asked questions in this area.
Smart.
So that will be on the cart.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And on the cart will be this. It will be additional information, and it's the same, replicate the brochure for all the services and any questions. And of course, we've got our customer service folks that'll be queued up. We'll have to make sure we've got enough, because there'll always be calls. There may be a resident who doesn't receive the mailer, so we'll have extra ones. We'll be able to supplement those out, and then we'll provide extra ones that we can leave here at the Village Center as well.
And then people that need assistance with the trash, that's not changing, correct? I feel like we talked about that before.
Yeah, handicap, that service remains the same. Instead of looking for the can, we'll look for the cart. We'll go up and retrieve it on those addresses that require that, service it, and then return the cart back. Our only request is that they put the cart line of sight. And that way we know, and the crew member will go and retrieve it, dump it, and return it back to its original place.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for making trash as fun as it can be.
Did we land on the colors of the cards? Because I don't think anyone here had preference. I know it was a whole thing in Jupiter, but I don't.
Yeah,
but what are the colors? Like I don't care. I'm just
Don't
curious.
use blue, 'cause
Right?
blue
Blue was
is
confusing because it looked like recycling. Yeah.
We strategically avoided that discussion because exactly what happened in Jupiter. And that's why we went just standard green cart with just the WM logo on it.
Works for me.
Just to keep it simple.
The only one other thing I just wanted, since you guys are here, and she brought up scheduling pickup, because you guys have been a little more strict about actually having residents call, because you guys have been so gracious in the past, and kind of your guys or your team would tag it as they were picking up trash. Can we make it a little bit easier to schedule? Because the website is not user friendly, so maybe some AI. I don't know, just something to look at. Like lately, in the past couple of weeks, I know our neighborhood has had a lot of complaints and frustrations with scheduling for our Monday pickup, for like big piles of palm fronds and debris.
Great. Excellent. And with this new schedule, we've dedicated Wednesday as the bulk day, which will be
Just
village-wide
Okay.
bulk day. So everybody knows, put it out on Wednesday, when we'll scour the entire village on Wednesday to make
Okay.
sure the curb is clean, middle of the week, things don't get carried over the weekend and things. That's really one of the benefits of this new schedule.
Okay.
It gives us that Wednesday where we can cover the whole village for all bulk items.
All right, cool. Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
No, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Any public comment?
Yes, I have quite a few.
Okay.
Jan Fenwick.
Trash is.
I'm Jan Fenwick, Azalea Circle. I'm glad I came because the mailer that you all sent out saying our rates were gonna go up $233.40 per year added to our ad valorem taxes would more than double my taxes. You've answered some of my questions, but I'm a little confused. My rate's gonna go up $3.46 a month, or is it $19.20 a month, or is it both added together?
So do you have any more questions? And I'll let you list out your questions, and then maybe either Jeremy or Jeff could answer.
Okay, well, I have that, and then also for palm fronds and things like that, are we gonna have to get another bulk trash can for that? We can still just throw them on the side of the road? Okay. And I understand everything is increasing, but a lot of us are on fixed income, and it's not just waste management. The next thing that's going up is the stormwater. The port tax hadn't gone up since 1972, so that's being increased. Citizens is going up over 14%. Food's gone up, and pay has not. So please be aware, a lot of people in this community cannot take much of a hit. Your water bill has gone up here in Tequesta. Mine's doubled since you added the $20-some-odd admin fee on there.
Thank you, ma'am. Do you have anything else?
No, and I don't really care what color the trash is.
Good. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, I would, because I think, there's probably residents that do it. I don't know if Jeff or Jeremy, if one of you want to explain you can sit down, I'll have one of them come up and explain the rate, exactly what that looks like per household.
So the current rate it's going from $15.99 to $19.45 or $19.20. But that's a $3, and if you calculate the 20, it's $3.21 per month increase. So it's $3.21 per month. That's 12 cents per pickup. It's going up to go automation. So, yeah, that's $3.21 or $3.45 depending on the 1920 or 1945.
Okay, thank you for explaining. All right, Laurie?
Stephanie Moto.
Hi, I'm also hello everyone, Stephanie. I live in Village Boulevard in a condo that I do own. And the letter is just a little confusing after hearing you guys talking about $348 and $19.90. So how does that increase our taxes by $233? Can you explain that? And as a reference, as a point of reference, since I do live in the condo, we bring our garbage to a really big container, and it's picked up, I think, once a week. We do not have any recycling. We can't do anything about it. The management doesn't want to offer it. So it's not the same as someone who has a single-family home that gets their garbage picked up from their curb. twice a week or whatever we just got done saying. So I just wanted some answers on, or clarifications on the letter, because it's really confusing hearing you guys talk about $20 and then meaning $233 increase in our taxes. And like she said, things are all going up, so it is not great. So,
Okay, do you have any other questions?
nope, that's it.
Okay, Council, are you okay with bringing Jeff up again? 'Cause I know
Yes.
we usually don't do Q&A, but this is important. So if you want to take your seat, we'll have Jeff come up and answer.
Just a quick summary, and
Or Jeremy.
maybe somebody else talking, the total is gonna be 233.40 is the proposed, so that's where we get that number. We take 1945, 12 months, it's 233. So the increase is going from the 1590, $3.46 a month will be 1945. So it's 1945 times 12 is the 233. So that's how we derive those numbers.
Anything else to add with the apartment building for?
Oh, yes, I can address that. They're multifamily containerized, so they receive equivalent service, but they have a container, and in this case, it's a dumpster. And that's accommodated within the franchise agreement, where if you live in one of those buildings or multifamily dwelling units, you automatically get twice per week collection service. So I picked up on that. If it's only once a week, we can certainly pick it up twice a week, because that falls under the requirement of the agreement. We can take care of that for sure. And then the second is the recycling. That's easily resolved. We just have to dedicate a space for the 96-gallon solid waste authority blue and yellow carts, and they can recycle. And we can arrange to make that happen.
Okay, thank you. Right.
Ian Minor.
Ann Minor, 478 Dover Road. I like thinking creatively and with solutions and all that. My main question centers on, why is it the same amount for everybody? The reason I mention that is because there are some kind of multi-million-dollar houses on the river. Great. You have a big lot, you have a big house, you have the potential to grow a lot of trees and have a great, outdoor life, great indoor life. I'd like to know what the differential is and how people were thinking about, how you all were thinking about charging more for people who consume more. And in terms of thinking creatively, the math is possible. To charge back those people more, I think this gives a lot of credence to people who have said, I've lived here a very long time, my taxes have been a certain rate for a very long time. This concept could be applied not just to this type of bill, but across the taxes where, it would be relative to your property tax number rather than a blanket amount for everybody regardless of consumption. I think it's fair. Some of us who have moved here more recently, yes, we'd pay more. But people with big properties would similarly pay more. So I think it's a good compromise in the chargeback. That's my thought. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vanessa Falanga.
My name is Vanessa Falanga. We just moved into Lighthouse Cove. I just want to know if this is something new, because we just moved here. I don't know, was this something always in adoption? I don't know. Can you tell me?
Ma'am, do you have any other questions, and then we can
No,
answer?
This is the question.
This is your question?
Because I don't know, because if it's something new, I want to be told more about it in writing, fully to my home. And if it's something old, I want to know what it was previously, because I'm opposed to this. I oppose this for another $233 assessment a year over every year. I'm new to the area. I own the condo. We bought the condo. I don't understand this.
Okay, the contract is not new. We've had a contract with Waste Management for I don't know how many years now, but it is an increase, so I think staff
What
has.
was it previously? I want to know what it was.
It's increased $41.52 a year, not 200.
This always was in adoption?
It was
This always-
$15.99 per month,
Okay.
and now it's gone up to
So this is
$19.40.
not something new?
No, ma'am.
This is not something new, because, you know, I'm just getting a letter like this for the first time. I'm new here, and I don't know about this.
The contract is also not negotiated every year. It's a multi-year contract. That's why, if you just moved here, that's why you're getting it. Every resident got a letter.
Correct.
Right.
But people I'm speaking to where I live, it's like they don't know anything about it. People that have lived in my condo for years, oh, what is this about? And I'm here, I don't see anybody else, well, this one lady, I don't know how long you've been living here, but people that have lived in my condo for years, oh, I don't know anything about this. I'm like, what, is this something new?
Okay, well, I know our staff has your information, and our staff can.
Information, if it could be given to me or mailed to me personally, so I know more about this. You know, I'm willing to pay it if it's always been an adoption. If it's something that's an increase, fine, I'll be willing to pay it. But, you know, I don't know anything about this, because we just bring our waste to the recycling bin, you know, and it's abroad. I just thought we pay our taxes all the time, and it's part of our taxes that we pay. I don't understand this. So I'd like more information if possible.
Absolutely,
You
our
know,
staff.
Because I'm new here, we're not even here a year.
Understand.
So this is all new to me.
Okay.
And I just thought, now what, another $233 a year, then it's gonna increase over the years, and it says here till another $750,000 is paid. You know, so I just like more information, you know, because no one is explaining to me at my condo unit.
Our staff will
Okay,
do
ma'am.
that for you, but again, so if you leave here knowing that
Vice
it's
Mayor.
going up to,
If you don't mind. Thank you. Ma'am, our staff
I'm
has your,
sorry, Mayor.
our staff has your contact information, and they're more than happy to sit with you and go through the contract and show you the changes from what it was before to what it is now.
Thank
So
you.
Laurie, you do have all the contact
Thank you,
information,
Madam
so we'll
Mayor.
get all your
Thank you so
answers.
much.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming to talk to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Patrick Wilkinson?
Thank you. Hi, I'm Patrick Wilkinson, 419 North Cypress Drive, Windermere condominiums over there. I've been in Palm Beach County, third generation. My question really is, I also utilize you, I'm also the general manager out in Jonathan Dickinson State Park, so come on out and see us, everybody, please. That being said, we utilize you out there a lot too, I've used you guys a lot. Do we need it? Is this something that's being sold to us, or is it a necessity? I guess that's the only question I have, because I want to reiterate what everybody else said. We're getting nickel and dimed everywhere, you know, so that's a tough one, so that's why I'm here to ask about that too. And number 17 when we get to it. So that's it, I can take my question offline, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll get you
Thank
that answered.
Appreciate that. Love JD.
I don't have any other comments.
Okay, any other public comment? If you could state your name and address for the record?
I'm Donald.
I'm sorry,
Oh.
I didn't really get an answer though. Is this
Oh.
is this something we need, or can we choose to not do it as a village?
So, I'm sorry, can you
I'm
sit
so
back
sorry.
down and so you can come back up to the
Yeah, yeah,
podium
yeah.
if you don't mind. I'll get to you
My name is
next.
Donald Morris. I live at 47 Chestnut Trail. And I have a question as to, I've been here 35 years as opposed to hers, just 1 year. And on my tax bill, I've been paying non-ad valorem tax through the county, every tax bill. Now, will that replace the bill on county that came through last year at $191, going up to $233.40? Does it replace that, or is this an addition to that, the money that we paid already for solid waste and refuge?
Is that your only, do you have any other questions?
Pardon?
Is that your only question? Do you have any
Yes.
other okay. Do you have an answer? Okay.
Mr. Snyder will
So
answer
if
that.
you wouldn't mind taking a seat, our finance director will come up and answer that.
This replaces that bill. It adds to it by the $41.52. So your non-ad valorem bill for the solid waste will go up $41.52 next year if this is passed.
The Tequesta refuge.
Sir, if you want to speak public comment next, I'll call you up. Thank you.
I was just,
I've got his tax bill right here.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Does that answer your question? Okay.
So we know what it is. So it's the text, and I think that's what everybody wants to hear.
Okay.
The Tequesta refuse collection line item is being replaced from what it currently says to $233, so it's not a $233 rate.
Correct.
Thank you. Okay. And then Jeff, I don't know if you can come up and talk about why the switch to automated, why it's a necessity, 'cause I believe that was that gentleman's question.
Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff Saban.
It's a great question. It's one in which the industry has been faced with. I think it was exacerbated by COVID, but labor has been under pressure now for quite some time. And it's been very difficult to obtain and retain good labor, especially the repetition of the job that they're required to do. So yes, it is a necessity because it's the way the industry is moving and how we have to address our labor costs. And all costs in general, but labor in particular, we're trying to extend the life of our employees that we hire as well. And this gives them a great opportunity. They can work for us now well over my age. So yeah, it is, and we're looking around the landscape in Palm Beach County. We mentioned Palm Beach County went to automated collection, I think 4 years ago. So they led the charge in doing so. They saw where the rates were going and the trajectory, and that was also a mitigant to reduce and to mitigate those cost increases over time. And so that's why we approached the village and to look at this a number of years ago.
Thank you for explaining that. Yeah. No other cards. Any other public comment? Ma'am, you already spoke. We can only call you up one time to speak. But if you would like to connect with me, any of the council members or staff, we can answer your questions after the meeting. Or you can email, we can connect later this week.
On your paperwork here.
Again, you can send that to staff or any of the council members, and we'll be happy to address it. Thank you. So council, I don't know if you want to have any other discussion. I know all of us initially felt and possibly still do that it's a necessity to raise the rate. The one, and I do take the comments seriously with, it all adds up. I've said that many times on the dais since I've been on council, like, it all adds up. So even a small change here, it compounds on everything else, not just that we're doing, but inflation that's still bad and insurance and all those things. So, the only wiggle room would be potentially not to do the, 20% or 20 cents, 25 cents recovery cost for us? Have we ever done that before?
No, we have not.
What would that pay for?
Staff time, we obviously have, work within finance that has to be done. Obviously, the trucks use up our roads and the wear and tear on our roads. There's a number of things that it can help offset that is directly attributed to this service.
I want to throw that out there for council consideration. Like, can we manage without that? We have been since we've had this contract.
I think for the first question, and those are good comments and questions from everyone, but we have done research for the first part of it and increase. I spoke earlier, spoke to many elected officials from other municipalities. There wasn't a question on that behalf. For the recovery cost, I do still support the recovery cost for staff time. Those costs are also increasing on this end, and we haven't had that in the past. And there's absolutely a staff cost involved in dealing with contracts, communications. Until AI is full on, we're gonna have those personal communications, right? So I still support those recovery costs.
Yeah, I have to lean on staff on this one. If it's something that the village feels we need, then I defer to them, and but I'm open to discuss further options, but I'm okay with it.
And this is not my first rodeo with working with WM. Used to be waste management.
Oh, I know. Waste management.
I know, it's
WM.
the same thing for me, it's still WM.
Sorry.
I'm still getting used to it. But in my experience, they usually come at renewal with not a huge number, but a higher increase. And I will say that staff does push back at them quite a bit to make sure that we are trying to get a very fair number for our Tequesta residents, especially since most of the time our council members are very cautious and concerning about our citizens who are on fixed incomes or maybe single and not having a dual income. So I know that we do push against WM for better rates, and there is discussions. It's not a, this is what we're proposing, take it or leave it. I will vouch that there is some push and pull back and forth, and knowing other municipalities and having properties in other places in my past, trash is very expensive. I know people who invest in trash because you need it and it's not going anywhere. So unfortunately for me, it is a necessity. It's just like our stormwater. It's not great, but I appreciate WM working with the village, because I do know where you guys are wiggling a little bit from your original numbers, and the fact that you guys aren't that far from us, you guys take that into consideration as well. So I appreciate that, and that's all I have to say.
Okay, Vice Mayor?
I think we should keep the recovery in there.
Okay. All right, and to everyone that spoke tonight, truly thank you for coming, and if you have any other questions, we want to hear them. We do have rules of decorum that we follow up here, which is why we can't keep, bringing everyone up and doing Q&A in the audience. But I know I'm not speaking for everyone, but I'm sure all of our council will get back to you if you email us through our website. You can access our emails, or you reach out to staff, and our staff can answer your questions directly, or they can contact us as well. We will get back to you. So please feel like after tonight, you can still reach out to us and get answers to any other questions you may have. Okay, well, can I get a motion?
And Mayor, before the motion is made, I just want to make sure it's clear. Technically, you have the new franchise agreement, which provides for the new automated service, as well as the new rates, but you also have Resolution 1524, which is the normal tool or mechanism we use to adopt the rate increase. And it's the same rates, but there's two documents, so I just want to make sure the maker of the motion is aware of that and captures everything that needs to be moved.
Okay, can I get a motion? Did someone get that?
I'm not gonna do that this time.
I can't make a motion, so I can't do it.
I will make a motion to approve the contract with WM. Any more?
And the resolution.
Yeah, and the resolution.
Adopted 1920 or 1945. That's the,
okay.
That's the motion that has to be made.
Okay.
Well, it's the recovery cost.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
1945. The rates as being set by contract is 1920. We proposed and sent out notices for 1945.
I will make, should I continue the motion where she started off?
You go.
Okay, well,
You
the
just
motion
take
is
it
to approve the franchise agreement and to approve the resolution for 1945.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, moving on, agenda item 15, consider approval of health, dental, and life insurance. Really?
Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. First of all, I just want to say, Nick, congrats on your tenure with us. There was a gentleman, the last time we had an intern do a presentation, he made a statement, and I absolutely loved it. It said, our children are a message we send to a future we may not see. So I believe the country is in good hands if we have more of you. So thank you for your tenure. Okay. The item this evening I'm going to ask is to consider approval of our 2024-25 health, dental, life insurance, and EAP renewals. But firstly, I want to thank the committee as well. Ray, I don't get to see you a lot, but he's on the committee representing the PBA. We have Jason representing the IAFF, and we have Bo Chesney representing the CAA. And then there is Jeff, who has left. Well, not this Jeff, the finance director, myself, and Brad Gomber, the IT director. And of course, we have the Gearing Group. This is Christian, our consultant. So again, we all, and of course, Jeremy, we get to recommend to him, and then we take it to council. So that's how the process works. So I just wanted to thank everybody for getting this to work. Now, the village currently offers a package that includes fully insured medical, dental, basic life, AD&D, along with an EAP program. And in July, we came before you to talk about the landscape because we could be here all evening, health insurance, and especially that's the big nut that we have to crack. So I know that Christian came in and spoke a little bit about what we were facing. So we told you at the time that we would be seeing roughly a 16% increase, and that is exactly what we got, a 16%. And the reason for that, is, as he explained, our medical claims especially are currently running at 118% of the premiums. We're having a bad time right now, so we were actually fortunate to get, it sounds funny, but to get a 16% increase. We did budget budget a 15% increase because we knew this was coming. So overall, the budget had a 15% increase in it, and we did realize a 15.6 overall increase. Now, because of well, just to break it down, as I said, medical was 16%. We didn't bother to shop because we did that last year and we only had one quote and it was 40-something%. Nothing has changed. In fact, we've gotten a little worse, so we decided not to shop this year. We did shop the dental because that gave us a little decrease, and we changed the carrier from the standard to Solstice. We shopped as well the basic life and AD&D. And the reason for that is we were experiencing a 25.5% increase, but we were able to get it down to 21.9 by switching to the Hartford. The EAP, and it's been at least 4 years that we have had no increases there. And I spoke with them, and as Christian knows as well, that it's been quite a while, and I was kind of surprised that there was no increase this year, but pleasantly surprised. While we do not contribute to the vision plan and so on, we did get a 2.6% decrease for the employees. Just wanted to mention that. And all the documentation is at the back there, breaking out exactly how the cost sharing and so on goes on. So unless you have any questions, but overall, the employee cost is 2.4 million combined, both sides, up from 2.1, and I'm just rounding here. So that's the recommendation that the committee made to the village manager. So any questions, comments?
Thank you, Marlene. Council, any comments, questions?
No. Great work.
One question, this is on the life insurance also, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a life insurance paid by the village.
The village.
To the employees. Is that a straight 50,000 or is it whatever your salary is? How does that work?
1.5 times your salary up to a maximum of 150,000.
Okay. Okay. One time
Yeah.
payment of 1.5 times your salary.
Yes.
Did I follow that?
Plus 5,000. Let me not forget that.
And what was the cost of that, dollar cost?
It's if you go to calculate it on the last page, life, it's go to the life where you see the standard life, 1, 2, 3, the third row from the bottom. You go across, we're moving from the standard to the Hartford. So in the third column, third box from the bottom.
What page? I'm sorry.
Oh, the last page.
Oh, okay.
Appendix A, last page.
265?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Let me just.
No, 154.
Okay, point. Yeah. Go over to where it says the Hartford. You can hardly see it there. And the employee.
You're looking at the overall summary, the last page, page 157, I think, of the agenda.
Correct. Well, I'm not sure of the page number, but it's Appendix A. You're in the right place. Just keep going down.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. And it's right there. Down more.
Can you tell me the number? It's blurry on mine.
Yeah, it's a little blurry on mine as well. But it's it's all employer costs. So it's 16 cents. You have to calculate it, but they're just telling you per 1,000.
What's the total overall cost to the village if we had to pay an annual
Oh, the
payment?
total overall cost, yeah, sorry.
No, it's all right. Thank you.
It's $29,600.
$624.
Oh, okay. Have we ever used that policy?
Yes.
Oh, yes, we have,
Thank you.
unfortunately.
Understood. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Vice Mayor?
No.
I have no questions either. Good. This is a lot of work every year around budget season, and we appreciate you guys doing such a great job at maintaining the level of benefits we have and, you know, getting the most, you know, cost-effective price that we can. So thank you for all your work.
Thank you, it's pretty tough.
Every year, yeah.
Thank you.
Hearing
We
from
work
is
with all
great,
the
yeah.
locals.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marlene.
Any comment cards, any public comment? Okay, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, agenda item 16, consider approval of amendment 1 for a contract with Aquifer Maintenance Performance Systems.
Good evening, Marjorie Craig, Utilities Director. And you may recall I brought this contract with AMPS for the well maintenance for the Sufficient wells a few months ago. And we piggybacked on Palm Beach County and, I'm sorry, on the city of Palm Bay. And so this is the first renewal of that contract. It's just so we tried to get the renewal before we came to council, but they didn't post it in time. So we're requesting approval of the one-year renewal so we can continue with our just programmatic maintenance of our superficial wells. And there's a lot of information there do you have any questions? Because I could
Counsel?
bore you with well-filled information.
Any questions or comments,
Specific
council?
capacity and making sure that this maintains the integrity of our wells.
That's important. So.
Very important.
Very important.
Another necessity.
No questions from me.
Necessity. Any cards? Any public comment? All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item 16, 17, resolution number 06-24 to adopt the stormwater utility fee.
Marjorie Craig again, Utilities Director, and this is requesting approval of a resolution of an already approved rate increase from before, and it's considered a public hearing. And if I'm stating that incorrectly, please let me know, Mr. Davis. But we're bringing it before you. It's 5% rate increase, which ends up being an additional 36 cents per month per the average resident, with a total of the total amount that an average resident would pay is $7.51 as opposed to $7.15. So it varies depending on the amount of impervious area that we have in our records. So it's that equivalent residential unit calculation. This is something that's very needed, and the comments tonight are, it kills me to have to come for a rate increase, but this is, we have more projects than we can possibly get done. If we look, I did some analysis of some of the projects in the past, just like our water main project, the price for El Portal, for our pipelining, everything's coming in for the bioswales, either 60% more than it used to before COVID, or even 100% more. It's just the price is increasing and we have a lot of needs. And in the presentation, there are some slides that were, and I didn't bring them to present because you've already seen them twice in the budget presentations, but it talks about, it's the slides that talk about all the projects that we've gotten done, all the pipes that we've lined. We've spent over $2.5 million, about $2.6 million in capital and operating costs on our stormwater system. And we still have a lot of needs. Sorry, my voice is going. So these are highlights from the budget. And with that, let me also tell you, wherever we can, whenever we can, we ask for grants. We've got the Dover Ditch, which is about a $187,000 grant, matched with $187,000, and then 60% of the costs are going to be borne by Tequesta and 40% by Jupiter, because we share the ditch. El Portal, we weren't able to get a grant, But for the vulnerability assessment, it was 100% grant funded. The 95% vulnerability assessment, and then I got an additional $50,000 for the gap analysis to have the survey done. Bioswales, we got a $30,000 grant. You know, whenever we can, and, you know, I'm going to apply for Resilient Florida funds this year for the stormwater pipelining. It's probably a real long shot, but again, wherever we can, we ask for grants. So, and this is just a summary that Jeff had put together, the projected unrestricted net position, which is a lot, and it's just about as, you know, like my engineerical speak. That's finance speak for leftover money or revenues that we get, and then operating expenses, you know, just looking at your revenues versus the expenses. We've also had to use, I don't know if you want to talk about this, Mr. Allen, about the ARPA funds that we had to use for some of the pipeline as well. We grateful.
Yeah, we use some ARPA funds to cover some of our costs in stormwater fund. I think the other part, and I missed the very front end of the presentation, but in 2021, we set out to increase our stormwater fees. We have a 5-year plan to increase these fees. So this is not like some new fee, because we're obviously, we know where our fund stands, but this was always planned. And then we will we are gonna revisit our rate structure in this fund and maybe have to pivot and adjust that overall plan. We will start that next year. That was part of our strategic plan, but this 5% that we have scheduled for stormwater was planned.
It was previously approved even.
Council, any comments, questions?
No, I just want to say we know how hard y'all work, and the explanation on the grants is very appreciated, but we know all that, and we really appreciate that. And we also, or I won't speak for everybody, I also know how important and unique it is to have our own water department, and especially for a small municipality like ours. And with that comes a lot of benefits, so we get that, so I commend your efforts and your whole team's efforts, so thank you.
Thank you.
No comments?
No. Thank you, Margaret.
I'll just say, you know, next to refuse and recycling, this is one of our leanest funds.
Very lean.
It's very, very lean. And I will say you can visually see the benefits of projects that you have accomplished. You know, noticeably less flooding on some of the projects. So there is a huge impact to the residents with being able to fund these projects, because flooding can get dangerous if out of control, and so that at the end of the day, stormwater management is so the village doesn't flood. So it's critical. It's a critical fund. So thank you for your hard work. And with that,
May I just add a clarifying comment? The rate increase that's before you tonight has certainly been presented to you, and it's been workshopped, and you've discussed it, gave consensus to bring it back tonight. I wouldn't say it's been previously approved. I would say it's been previously presented to you and discussed. As Marjorie said, we have now provided public notice for tonight's hearing, which is when it will be, you will take action on it tonight. So just to clarify that.
Thank you. No, that's exactly what I need.
thank you. All right, Laurie, any comment cards?
Yes, we have quite a few. Jan Fenwick.
Jan Fenwick, Azalea Circle. Here's another increase. And are you all planning on putting storm drains throughout the town? Because I don't have any storm drains. I'm now paying for an act of God. The water runs off, it pools in the street, runs off the street, and runs into my yard, and my grass takes it in. And now you're gonna charge me an additional $5.86 a month, a year, I don't know which that is, for an act of God. What are you planning with this? And Cypress still floods, Cypress Drive, that does have storm drains, still floods, so, what's the plan?
Okay, do you have any more questions? And then if council's okay, we can have Marjorie come up and address it. Do you have any other questions? Then I'll have Marjorie come up.
Just a comment, you did much better on this one than you did on this one. It would have been.
Thank you.
It would have been better if you put some of the requirements that you're still gonna do the twice a day, twice a week trash pickup, blah, blah, blah. All the information that was presented tonight would have been nice to have on this.
Okay, thank you. I'll have Marjorie come up, and you can explain how each house is assessed via the impervious percentage that they have, and then also, and you can talk about upcoming projects we have.
Sure. So.
But do you have one more question, ma'am?
No, I know how it's assessed. It's
okay.
on my roof runoff and the concrete I have.
Okay.
But it runs into my grass. It does not run into a storm drain because there's no storm drains in that area.
Okay.
There is still, when the village was designed, there was still stormwater planning and drainage. A drainage plan was put together for the village itself. I'm not sure exactly where you live. Azalea, okay. And I'd have to go look at it, but there are typically swales that used to run in front of all of the houses. Right now, the revenues that we get for the stormwater fund pay for basic maintenance and for relining we've been relining the stormwater pipes that exist. And even if you don't see stormwater, there's probably something that it still is part of the stormwater system, the overall stormwater and the original plan for the village. So that water still runs into the receiving water bodies are the Loxahatchee River. And so we have been trying to implement projects that help not only retain the water, but also treat the water as well. So that's the bioswale helps treat the water. El Portal helped retain the water and keep it from just rushing into the river itself. We also have pipelining planned for the future, and we've done a lot of pipelining over the last 5 years, and we will continue with that, with renewing those pipe systems. And then we will be implementing a Save the Swales program at some point, which will be doing some work to restore the swales that used to be in place.
Okay. Thank you, Marjorie.
Thank you.
Stephanie Moto.
That doesn't answer my question.
Okay, we can connect you with Marjorie after the meeting, if you don't mind. Thank you.
Hello again, Stephanie Mata from Village. Again, the letter, timing is everything, so we get one letter and then 2 weeks later we get another one, so it was a little bit of a shock, so I wasn't understanding everything specifically. So I guess my question is, it says here that everything is calculated or measured as an equivalent residential unit. Again, as a condo, is that considered one? Because it's described as a single-family home of 2,500 square feet. And it says in here, in the back of the letter, that it was 92 or something in 2024. So is that going to 277? Because I did not do the math, but that doesn't seem like a 5% increase. So I would like the clarification of how are these things calculated between single-family homes that are several thousand square feet and my small condo that is less than half of 2,500 square feet. So that I did not get in my previous question, how that is calculated. It would be nice to learn about that. That's why I'm here, to try to understand and clarify the situation. Because as was previously mentioned, I'm not trying to offend anyone, but it would have been nice if the water letter was a little bit more positive in explaining how we're benefiting and why you're increasing the price. That wasn't said. Now I know that you're automating the system, and obviously it's important. And like you said, trash is not sexy, water is probably not sexy, and it's inconvenient when it puddles. But like, it's just better if we understand this better. And when you compare it from the last tax to this tax, again, it's just an easier way of understanding why. And again, I wish you would have increased it in 2021 so that it didn't happen at the same time as this other one. But that's essentially my question. How is the division or the calculation between condos and single-family homes that are huge?
How do you do that?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Marjorie, is that something you can answer?
Thank you. What I'd like to do is get with her and go through the explanation of an equivalent residential unit, and then, and I'd have to dig into what they did, but typically, when you're looking at a condo, you're also looking at the dividing up, like the, if there's any additional.
Common areas?
Yes, thank you. Yes, that. So, if that's okay. And this rate, although this specific, today before you, you have the option to approve it or not. There was a rate that was set in 2019, and so it's been an annual indexed rate since 2019.
Okay,
So.
thank you.
Ann Minor.
Should my last one say that again?
Ann Minor.
Okay.
She was in the back. I don't see her anymore.
Okay, well, if someone walks in, again, we can ask about her.
Vanessa Falanga? You know, okay. And Patrick Wilkinson.
I'll relinquish my time and my written opposition to it after what I've heard. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That's all I have.
Okay, any other public comment? Okay, and like I stated with the refuse and recycle, we absolutely want to answer all your questions. Marjorie's here to answer questions now, and then you can reach out to all of us, and we can make time to meet with you as well. Thank you. Council, any other questions or comments?
I thought that was good comments, but that's something we can learn from too, is put some calculation on the letter, and also the benefits, an explanation, not just what's happening.
Right.
Because I would feel the same way as I said when Jeff Saban was talking to me that way, this is what we're doing. I have that same feeling, and that's not the intent.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item 18, resolution number 16-24 to enter into a grant agreement for the state funds for Tequesta Park.
So as of Friday, we got this agreement from the state, or this, we got requests from the state, if we're moving forward with this request. They gave us a number of check boxes. One of the check boxes, we had to have a resolution from the council endorsing this project. And so when we check all these boxes, they gave us a date of August 21st to send it back. So we quickly turned this around for the council to approve. Once we get everything in order, they will send us the agreement, and it will come back to council, and we will approve the agreement. So this resolution is supporting this appropriation, and we will have several other check boxes for this, but this is what's in front of you. If you have any questions, I can try to answer those.
Thank you. Council, any comments or questions?
I don't have any.
I just had one as a standard, because it just said authorizing the mayor, just in case there's something you have to be at sick. Is that the standard system where you weren't able to be there, or whatever that may be, the vice mayor, whomever could step in?
This is just authorizing the mayor to sign, the resident
Oh, okay.
sign, that's all.
Stop signing me up for stuff.
Yeah.
Good question, though.
No
Thank
further
you.
comments.
Okay, Vice Mayor?
Nope, no comments.
Okay. Any public comment? Marjorie? Marcia, sorry. Sorry about that.
Marcia Nielsen, 94 Beechwood Trail. I'm a little confused because when I went onto the agenda, this wasn't there. It was added after I, looked at the agenda when I did. So I'm not exactly sure what we're doing.
Okay.
Just a quick synopsis would be helpful.
Okay. You want to, I know you kind of
This
touched
was
on that.
amended, the agenda was amended on Tuesday, it was added, so I know we posted it on the Friday before. This is a resolution for the council to agree to enter into a grant agreement with the state of Florida for the appropriation of funds that the state did. It was well covered tonight of $340,000. We have to enter an agreement that we will do what we say we would do in that appropriation request form. And so that, once we agree to this resolution, they will put all that in a document for an agreement for us to sign. So tonight, the council is basically approving this resolution to move forward with that process.
right, any other
Thank you.
public comment? Okay, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, and lastly, any other matters? Council, anything else to bring up tonight?
I don't have anything.
No, ma'am.
I have one. Any committees that we have that I'm not able to attend, I receive a summary or I listen to them on the way to work. And I was listening to the Environmental Advisory Committee, which they do a phenomenal job. And a great discussion was being had, but I also wanted to better understand the committee. And from what I understand is that they were set up to review our comprehensive plan. And at this point, it kind of seems like they don't have direction from us as a body. And I bring this up as if there's a committee or a meeting out there that doesn't have direction, how much of that do we need? And is that committee just going to create new issues? Right? If you're meeting, you have to have something to meet about, are you just going to create new issues? And as a body that has to deal with that as issues, or should be directing the committee, I'd like to suggest that we either place the committee like freeze or on standby if we have an issue, or reduce those to quarterly meetings. I think a monthly meeting when you don't have direction is it's too frequent. And that does not go against what the committee's doing. They're phenomenal, and when I listen to it, I'm glad I listened to that. But just sitting in this seat, I think it's liability is not the right word, but I think it's unnecessary unless they have direction. It looks like Keith's gonna.
No, the only thing I can offer is that when that committee was created, there was a resolution that was passed, and the resolution has, I don't remember exactly, but I will say high-level parameters on what this committee is supposed to do. So there was some direction at the front end. Now, whether what they're doing here in 2024 is within the four corners of that direction or not, I truly couldn't say. But there is that resolution that does give a sort of sets a frame for within which they're supposed to work.
Understand, thank you.
Yep.
And I know, council has tasked them at times, like the green building, seeing if there's any incentives there, like that's something we task them with, so we do that, and they do bring topics of their own. I will say, I know we made adjustments and have Jay attend those now to kind of streamline it how it is, so like that has been noticed, and we have made some adjustments to make sure a little focused and streamlined. But if council wants to discuss it, we'd have to add it to a workshop agenda. So is there any consensus to discuss it, or does everyone want to leave it how it is?
If we do discuss it, obviously, can we please have their chair a part of that? And speaking on behalf of, the opinions, the involvement, and the scheduling, or schedules available from the other committee members, since it affects not only their schedules and their lives, but their, what's the right word? What they do bring us. They do bring us stuff every once in a while. Sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
That's fine, just keep if we do have a conversation, let's make them involved in the conversation, that's all I'm saying.
I'll second that.
All right.
I think my only thing to add is there is a new chair. Do we want to give him a
Heads up.
couple meetings? Well, or do we want to give him a couple meetings and see how it goes before we decide to talk about it, or do you want to just talk about it now?
It's up to him or the new chair or the group. If they don't see it as an issue, then they want to give it a few more months, fine. But I just don't know from they're the ones attending, so I don't know if they see it as an issue or not. But.
Also, I don't know what our staff or how much we have on our next workshops coming up. For me, this is not high priority. I'd have to also see what is coming down our desk soon. I'd rather take care of things that are more high priority and time sensitive.
Right, and I know, so
Especially
they're
budget
talking
season.
about time in the meeting next. Are they talking about frequency too, or no?
We can definitely throw it on there just to see if they self-select in that situation that they think, and if they don't, then maybe we can wait a few months and see if the feeling is still the same, and then kind of go from there, and that'll give us a chance to kind of work through our workshops, like Ms. Brandon just said, and just make sure we'll find the time for it over a couple month period. That way we're not prioritizing that necessarily right now and just see how it works out. That'd be my recommendation.
I like that.
I like that too.
Okay,
sense.
we'll see how that conversation goes at their next meeting, and we'll go from there.
Nice.
Perfect.
And I want to be clear, I think they're really great conversation. I listened to it as like a podcast on the way to work. You know?
And
But-
Good thing the car is self-driving.
Oh, yeah. Also, it's like-
I have some.
I have nothing to add either.
No, I'm good.
All right, with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You always get those good zingers.
Always at the end, man. I want to get the last word.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I am gonna